Welcome back to the channel. This is Gillis TV here, and today we are, of course, talking about Patty Kane. But before we get started, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, as I'm trying to get this channel up to 1,000 subs. Everyone subbed already, thank you so much. Now let's get to the video. Like I said, it's a Patty Kane video, and yes, it does involve the Edmonton Oilers, but there's two other teams now, and about 5 hours ago on Daily Faceoff today, Frank Seravalli says he is reporting on a possible Patrick Kane trade remains the same since July. Kane has told Chicago, "Hey, I'll start the season here. I want to see how it goes, and if it's not going so well, trade me. I want to win again before my career's done." Now, that's a high-end superstar saying, "Hey, I'll give you guys a chance." A lot of superstars, a lot of good players would just say, "Nope," and bam, they'd be gone. Trade me. I don't want to go through this. But Kane isn't like that. He's loyal to the Blackhawks. And it same happened with Duncan Keith last year when Keith requested a trade was he wanted to go win just one more time, try and win. And ultimately he got to the Western Conference Finals and lost. But there's other news to this story now, as it is mentioned that Kane has told the Blackhawks three teams that he would waive his no trade clause to. Of course, one being on your screen, the Edmonton Oilers. They were the first rumored team to actually have interest in Kane, and could possibly work considering the bonuses already paid for Kane, and Chicago probably wouldn't mind eating up half of his contract for an extra prospect or two. Now, the second team, it was reported yesterday or 2 days ago, the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Toronto Maple Leafs, I've already done a video on the Oilers, go check that out. When it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs, they can do it again like Edmonton, but it might cost them a lot more than Edmonton, as what I've heard from actually one of my buddies that's a Chicago fan. The thing going around Chicago is if Patty Kane does say, "Hey, I want like Gulsep to trade to Toronto," it's Rasmus Sandin that Chicago wants, which arguably is worth asking for a guy like Patty Kane, as that might start the whole trade discussion is, are you willing to give me Rasmus Sandin? If Toronto says, "No way, Jose," then the talks probably end there. They do have the one guy, Kives, whatever his name is. Sorry, I can't remember his name. He could be in potential talks for the Maple Leafs and Chicago too in this deal, and it's really, does Toronto want to win now or wait for these two guys to develop more and win with them? Of course, a lot of fans would say, "I want to win now. I want to get out of the first round. We were so close this past season. We need anything and everything that helps," which is understandable. Everyone doesn't want to get knocked out in the first round every time. Making the playoffs is one thing. Trying not to get knocked out in the first round every year is another thing that Toronto has to work for. And you know what? If it's Sandin going, I say it's worth it. You got some solid defensemen on the back end for Toronto and whatnot. Now, third team, which is kind of like one of the comments that said in my one Kane video, was he would want to go to the New York area. Well, the New York Rangers is his third team he would accept a trade to. Being really good friends with Panarin probably helps this case if you're the New York Rangers playing with Panarin again. Panarin and him took off. It would be a great scenario. But what would it cost the Rangers? Would it cost, say, Capo Caco and Lafreniere? Like, what would it cost for the Rangers at this point? Could it be Philip Seidel? Could be going the other way. It's just speculation, but if a trade between Chicago and the Rangers are gonna make a trade, one, more than likely two of those players I just mentioned would probably be going to Chicago for Patty Kane, plus another prospect, and more than likely each team's going to have to give up their first round pick if they're retaining salary. Now, that's huge and all for all three teams, but like I said, the advantage of New York is having Panarin there. They kicked it off. The advantage of Edmonton is Duncan Keith is now a special advisor, coach, whatever it is he's doing with the Edmonton Oilers for Kane to go there. That kind of helps. You've been longtime buddies for who knows 17 years, give or take 16 years. You won championships together. That's something that you get to Edmonton. You got that bond with Duncan Keith being there all the time. Now, Toronto doesn't have really that much leverage when it comes to recent players playing with, but they can pitch the whole Matthews, Marner, Kane line, which if I was Toronto, I wouldn't do all three on that line, as Kane likes to shoot, Matthews likes to shoot. I would actually play the approach of Kane with Tavares, as Tavares can pass a lot better than Matthews can, but Marner is a really good facilitator too. It really depends on how you look at things. Now, like I said, it really depends on how the Blackhawks do. If the Blackhawks come out of this or start the season, let's just say 5-20, 5-15, it's not looking good. You get to the halfway point of the season, Chicago's 17 and 28. It's then Kane's probably going to ask for a trade, and that's where the trade would probably happen, is right then and there. Now, if you're one of those teams, three teams that he's willing to go play with, do you try and do a sign and trade kind of an extension, like, hey, he's willing to agree, we're willing to agree to this trade, but I need to know if he's going to sign an extension or not? That will be huge too. And how badly does he want to win? Is it going to be about the money on his next contract, where he's already making 10.5, I think it is? Is it about the money on his next contract, or is it about winning another Stanley Cup or two and going and playing a tough nose game with a top team that can contend for that Stanley Cup? That's the question. He's coming off a season where he literally scored 92 points on a terrible Blackhawks team. Like, I'm sorry, this guy going to a contending team like those three is going to put up 100 plus points. No problem whatsoever. But that's where I'm going to go, as my kids just got home. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll catch you on the next one.